Petting the dog is one of the most relaxing things you can possibly do. It releases a hormone called oxytocin, which reduces stress. Also, it lowers your heart rate and it lowers your blood pressure. Plus, people who pet their dogs are 5 times more likely to live longer than people who just have cats.
All right, let's face it, if you're watching at this point, you're an absolute nerd, and I love you. You probably know what this is. This is an older model Syncor Z meter, the old LC53. And I found one that's in museum condition, museum quality. Unbelievable time capsule condition with all the accoutrements. I have the, let's see, so I can get that to focus. The little triac tester, all the other little test leads. Super pumped. The little jack that goes on the back that helps you depress the button for larger caps if you're checking those out. I was looking at the IT28, I think it is, the Heathkit cap checker, and those have gone up significantly in price. Actually, these are about on par, but you're going to spend the same amount of money and then have to do a full restoration on that Heathkit. So I'm concerned about reliability and then safety. So one of the beautiful things about this with respect to leakage testing is that it goes all the way up to 600 volts. That's what you're looking at with tube amps. You're topping out there. This is precisely the range that I need this thing to test within. And it's incredibly accurate and sensitive. Now, the beautiful thing with respect to safety is that once the cap is charged, it's going to automatically discharge as soon as you release the leakage button here. I don't have to be concerned about whether I have my head on straight from a rough night or an early morning. It's going to take care of that for me. And this is something I will check on a weekly basis just to make sure that's still happening. But a beautiful thing, I can tell you. Finally, I have some inductor testing capabilities now. The thing's incredibly accurate. I hooked it up to an old output transformer from the 50s, an old Schumacher. And the seller back then had written with a marker like 3.97 ohms on it. And this meter picked that up immediately. It was beautiful. So my old go-to was, actually it still kind of is for certain things, the old purple Atlas Gold. You know what that is. And I use it to sort out, where's my hand? I use it to sort out batches of capacitors for specific positions. Okay? This says 0.006 according to the Atlas. Well, let's see what the Syncor has to say about that. I love it. This is the original test lead. See that? Very cool. So let's look at the value. I consider this just a little more accurate than the Atlas counterpart. And I didn't even zero out the test lead, so let's do that. So we'll go to value, and then this is very sensitive. I'll move it up since we're in a negative range until it gets to 0. There we go. So let's retest it and see what's up. Okay, here we go. Love it. So if you're in picofarads and you want to convert over to microfarads, you move that decimal point over 6 spots. And this thing's bang on. Love it. It's got the squeaky buttons because they're these are probably contacting each other back there. I'm going to get inside of this thing at some point. But it's immaculate. It's absolutely immaculate. In fact, the handle still has the rubber bits on the end of it, and they're always missing. I'm incredibly excited about that. So let's see if I can see what's the rating on this thing. Is it 400 or 600? Let's zoom in. 600. Let's do a leakage test. So caps like these should have 0 leakage. 0. Your electrolytics will have an acceptable range of leakage. So let's see what's up. Awesome. Now that's at 3 volts. You expect that to be awesome, right? Let's bring it up to 200 straight off. But there's a chart here that's going to tell us the settings that we need. So let's cross-reference the voltage rating of the cap. So straight away, it's going to put us into the gray right here. I know you can't see that. The gray will be large aluminum electrolytic setting. This guy over here. We're going to go to the left-hand side, so I forgot that. So let's try again at 200 volts. This blinking light indicates anything over 25 volts. It's like a hazard light. Awesome. No leakage at 200. Let's try 300. Beautiful. 400 volts. Beautiful. 500 volts. Beautiful. And 600 volts. Awesome. The cap is discharged and ready to be handled. This is precisely what I need. And this should be a staple on any electronic technician or engineer's workbench. Something like this. Now, where are we at here? The newer models do ESR. I don't know how good the ESR function is compared to like the Atlas, but I'm going to use the Atlas for ESR functionality. This guy here, you know about that. This thing is worth its weight in gold. I like it. Another good meter, and it's relatively cheap, is this guy. Now, you can go on eBay and you could assemble it yourself or have the designer assemble it for you, or the company. I chose the latter route because I just don't have time. And cheaper yet is this little guy. Now I modified it because these little test leads, as they were, are incredibly awful to handle. So what did I do? I just went on the inside and made a direct connection with the appropriate pads. That's all you gotta do. So just something for you to think about. You're gonna want a tester that tests at operational voltages. You're gonna want a tester that can test and create the same type of electronic environment as the device it's sitting inside of. And why, when you could just shotgun all the caps? Because when you do this kind of work, credibility is established by showing your work. Sometimes you have to show things before you have to justify your price. It's a little more work, but it's well worth it. And the customer gets what they pay for. There's some technicians out there here on YouTube that are wildly popular. that are not incredibly technical, but they're incredibly tenacious. And I would not shy away from a tech like that with my amplifier. And then there are other techs who are incredibly technical and less tenacious. And I would probably shy away from those guys, but there's a happy median. And at the end of the day, it's all about the customer experience and how you make your customer feel. Are they getting value for their money? This is an incredibly hard and challenging lifestyle to take on. So I always say that to younger techs, that if your passion is here, then go ahead and do it. More seasoned techs should be comfortable with giving away their secrets. You're creating a competitive environment for yourself down the line. You're not doing it now, but you're sowing into the next generation of folks that need to be there for other people. The service needs to continue after we're gone. You need a legacy. And sometimes at the end of the day, our legacy is just the trove of videos that we make that help the do-it-yourself dude do it themselves. I'm not going to get all weepy on you, but that's kind of the way it is. It's a tough lifestyle. You're not going to get rich. Even if you get picked up by a major artist, it's going to cost you in terms of like family time and things like that. But if that's your lifestyle and it suits you, then man, go for it. It's an incredibly rewarding career. You can be business savvy and create a situation for yourself where you have benefits. I mean, 401k, the whole thing. So, not to get too deep into weeds, I got to get out of here and work. So check it out. Just a sneak preview. I don't have it on the bench here, but I have it down in the storage area. I have a late 60s Super Reverb chassis that a few techs have given up on. Speaking of customer service. It was delivered to me by a customer who's become more of a friend. And that's another benefit of this particular career. And it comes with 2 circuit boards of the era. One of them is the original board. It was probably going to be a conversion at some point. So I'll be doing a full rebuild of that board. We'll be testing using the Syncor, the original caps, and we're going to choose the best of the original caps that are on board, and we're going to transfer it to one board and just do our best to make it as the guys did at the factory, the guys and girls, and do those guys right. I know I was making fun of Mr. Hand, just poking lightly, a little jab in the ribs, but we keep those guys' legacies alive by maintaining these amps. So in a sense, we live forever, at least until the big asteroid comes. So I hope this finds you and yours well. Bye.